humans have languages. Every human culture has a language. But languages have a commonality, right? They're all languages, and they have a universal grammar. That was Noam Chomsky's great discovery.
Yes.
And stories are like that. Every culture has its own stories, but the stories have a universal grammar. A religion is a set of stories that comes very close to the grammar of stories. If you think about the story of Christ from a psychological perspective, and you strip it down to its essence, what you essentially see is that the story of Christ is the ultimate tragedy. And the reason for that is that the ultimate tragedy is the worst possible thing happening to the best possible person, right? That's the ultimate tragedy. That's what makes it an archetype. You can't go past that for tragic. The way that I read that psychologically, and I'm not trying to make any comments about the metaphysics of it, is that there's a part of people that's the self, the Jungian self, let's say.
The capital S self of
capital
Jung.
S self, yes. That is capable of sustaining itself across successive deaths and rebirths. And everyone really understands this. It's one of the things that's most fun to teach people because, when you're moving through life and you have a plan or a dream and it shatters, someone dies or a relationship breaks apart or you have a terrible upset in your career or you become ill in some unexpected way, then everything around you falls apart and you plunge into a chaotic underworld.
The belly of the whale.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, exactly that. And then maybe you stay there because it isn't necessarily the case that people get out. People die. People are in despair permanently. But frequently, something tragic and terrible befalls you and you fall apart. And you learn something profound as a consequence, and you put yourself back together, and when you come back out, you're more than you were when you went in. Imagine that you undergo a series of transformations in your life. There are collapses into the chaotic underworld, and then mini resurrections. That happens continually, and that's what molds your character. Yeah. You can view yourself as the thing that moves across the transformations, and that's the right way to conceptualize yourself, is you're the thing that maintains constancy across transformation. So there's an occult interpretation. There's letters on Christ's cross, INRI, Jesus Christ.
What is
King
that?
It means Jesus Christ, King of the Jews, and it was put there by the Romans. But there's an occult interpretation in Latin, which I can't reproduce. But it means through fire all things are renewed. And one of the deepest ideas of Christianity is that you should burn everything off that's part of you that isn't part of that thing that can die and be reborn. Like there's all sorts of baggage people say that there's baggage that you're carrying. Everyone knows that. It's dead wood. It's like that has to burn off. And that's way more of you than you think.